Hello guys, welcome back to our anime moments. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Flame Emperor episode number 63 based on novel. So let's start. The silver long sword in Mu Feng's hand brought a monstrous light to the sky, and then the speed was also increased to the extreme. It rose from the ground and went towards the blood-colored vortex. You must catch up, Mu Feng murmured, and Mu Feng also found that the blood-colored vortex seemed to be about to become completely dark. Moreover, the evil spirits in the blood-colored vortex also seemed to have discovered that something was wrong with Xiao Yan. This human kid seems to have something in the palm of his hand. There seems to be something familiar to me, Yin Xie also said coldly, but what Yin Xie couldn't figure out was that Xiao Yan's strength was only in the early stage of the 4-star Do Di. The skyrocketed to the level of the 7-star Do Emperor, but this does not change the fact of failure. In the final analysis, these humans are too pretentious, thinking that with the strength of these few people, they can suppress themselves again. I paid a very heavy price for this seal. It's time to change. Although it's still a little short of absorbing these powers perfectly, let's deal with this human first. Let the last beliefs of these human beings be shattered, showing expressions of despair and horror. Yin Xie finished speaking without hesitation. In the black and red vortex, an extremely evil ghost was slowly taking shape. Damn it! Xiaoyi, the recharging time of this ancient sword of purification is too long. Xiao Yang also pondered. Obviously, the evil spirits at this time also found something wrong and did not intend to delay the time. In this case, if this ancient purification sword, if the sword cannot break the edge of the evil blood-colored vortex, then the power of the Lotus of Annihilation will be greatly reduced. This is their last chance. Therefore, Xiao Yang did not dare to be careless. Don't worry, leave the rest to me. Mu Yingyingbei bit her lips and said in a silver bell-like voice. Don't fight, I still need a minute. Xiao Yang also knew that this was not the time to be hypocritical, so he also cared. Yeah. Mu Yingying also responded softly, and then she didn't stop, her whole body was pushed to the limit, facing the ghost in the blood-colored vortex. Mu Yingying also knew that Xiao Yang's attack was a little short of time, and he couldn't be affected by this ghost, otherwise their chance for the last blow would also be lost. Tianhua Sacred Tiger also knew the seriousness of the matter, and did not start with Mu Yingying, and guarded Xiao Yang. At this time, Xiao Yang was full of strength, and immediately guarded it to prevent any mistakes. Mu Yingying turned into an azure flame and headed towards the ghost in the blood-colored vortex. At the same time, Mu Feng also turned into a mysterious blue light, heading towards the ghost in the blood-colored vortex. Yin Xie also seemed to have discovered these two breaths, but he didn't take it to heart. After all, a 4-star Do Emperor early stage and a human at the peak of the 4-star Do Emperor were not enough for him to take it seriously. But the flame on this woman? It seems to be a bit like a holy flame. Yin Xie also looked at the blue flames on Mu Yingying's body, causing the countless pitch-black ghosts around her to disperse, and she also had doubts. Forget it, let's deal with this human boy first, otherwise the power of purification in his body will restrain me quite a bit. Faithful servant of the ghost world, destroy the enemy in front of me. The deep voice also sounded from the evil mouth, and then a place outside the blood-colored vortex twisted quite strangely, and countless ghost chi also gathered crazily. Go away, as if something terrifying is about to be born. It is said that every ghost emperor has a special mount. The 9-soul Steely also remembered something. Come out. As the sinister and eerie voice sounded, a certain space in the blood-colored vortex shook violently. Immediately, countless pitch-black ghosts gathered crazily, and a pitch-black arm with the size of dozens of meters surrounded by ghosts also emerged from the wriggling space. Just one arm has a length of several tens of meters, and its volume can be imagined. The terrifying power caused the entire blood-colored vortex to vibrate slightly. At the same time, Mu Feng also came to the sky, and then closed his eyes slightly. His face was solemn, and he quickly muttered, Yin and Yang, 5 elements, Qiankun, and 8 trigrams. Destroy the evil. After Mu Feng finished speaking, an extremely terrifying force also appeared on him, but with the appearance of this force, Mu Feng's body also slumped. Obviously, the price of this blow was quite high, and then Mu Feng no longer hesitated, with a sky-high blue light, facing the huge arm in the blood-colored vortex. Boom boom boom. Mu Feng's attack came in an instant, and at the same time, the evil spirits in the blood-colored vortex also widened their eyes, and the clothes looked unbelievable. How can it be? The teleportation space was actually destroyed. Yin Xie's pupils shrank tightly, and then he felt that the space within the edge of the blood-colored vortex suddenly lost contact with him. Human. How can this kid have such terrifying power? Yin Xie also discovered something was wrong with Mu Feng. A mere 4-star Do Emperor level human could actually interrupt his own teleportation space. This is unheard of. Xiao Yan, I'll leave the rest to you. Mu Feng tried his best to launch an attack, and then he fell down from the blood-colored vortex in the sky. As if the blow just now exhausted all his strength. This kid actually has the yin-yang bagua cultivation technique. The 9-soul Steely was also extremely surprised. This kid is a bit amazing. Chang Yu also discovered that since Mu Feng's attack, the strange space in the ***** vortex used by Yin Xie to transport his mount seems to have lost contact with Yin Xie, the terrifying mount. It also stopped appearing, and was cut off by Mu Feng. This yin-yang bagua cultivation technique is the most powerful nemesis to restrain the ghosts in the ghost realm other than the 20 evil soldiers in the ghost realm. I didn't expect this kid to have such an accomplished level of yin-yang gossip exercises. The 9-soul Steely also said with admiration. At this time, Mu Feng, who fell from a distance, also used up all his strength, and then fell straight like a meteorite. You did a good job, leave the rest to Xiao Yang. You also quickly took over Mu Feng, and gave some of the recovery medicinal pills to Mu Feng, and then stared at the sky. Fighting. At this time, the connection between the strange space on the edge of the blood-colored vortex and the evil spirits had already been destroyed by Mu Feng, but the arm that was several tens of meters long appeared in everyone's sight. A dark arm of several dozen meters slowly fell out of the strange space, and the arm was full of evil aura. Mu Yingying bit her lips slightly, her beautiful eyes slightly wrinkled, her eyes fixed on the arm, because Mu Yingying felt an evil aura from it. Go? Mu Yingying raised her jade hand slightly, and an azure flame also moved towards the pitch-black arm. Then the next moment, the space around Xiao Yang's body started to wriggle slightly, and at the same time, the space at the edge of the blood-colored vortex also wriggled in the same way. The next moment, Xiao Yang suddenly disappeared in place, and when he reappeared, he suddenly appeared on the edge of the blood-colored vortex. Twin Ghost Emperor. A great gift for you. Xiao Yang said with a calm expression, then staring at the blood-colored vortex in front of him. When the words fell, the delicate lotus seeds in Xiao Yang's palm also appeared instantly, and then Xiao Yang waved his hands heavily, perfectly overlapping the lotus seeds and the blood-colored vortex. This is. At this time, Yin Xie's face full of smiles was extremely difficult to look at because he found a familiar smell in this beautiful lotus seed. Shabu. The lotus of silentness just appeared, causing the temperature in the sky to rise suddenly, and the corners of the mouths of everyone on the ground were slightly dry. This Xiao Yang? Are you still human? On the ground, Luo Guang and Qiu Huanyao, who had originally wanted to trouble Xiao Yang, couldn't help but say slightly. Not good. The moment Yin Xie also appeared in Xiao Yang's palm, the delicate lotus seed, he felt an aura full of destruction spontaneously arise. You must know that he is a real twin ghost emperor now. If the ghost energy in his body did not return, then it would not be a problem to fight against a human 8-star Do Emperor powerhouse. It would make such a terrifying powerhouse exude this kind of fear. If so, Xiao Yang's attack is also very terrifying. Seeing the appearance of this terrifying lotus seed, Yin Xie did not know why there seemed to be fear in the bottom of his heart, and then the extremely evil arm around him was directly swallowed by Yin Xie, and then two forces slowly appeared in front of Yin Xie, like something. Boom boom boom. As soon as the lotus of destruction appeared, it attracted everyone's attention. The lotus of silence at this time is quite exquisite because on the periphery of the lotus of silence, there are two full circles of energy and one circle is a circle of flames mixed with 23 colors. Although it is small, it contains a lot of energy. Even a 5-star Do-D powerhouse dare not underestimate the energy. The other circle is an invisible force, a bit like the fusion of soul power and spiritual power. This power is the fusion of Xiao Yan's restraint of ghosts, and the destructive power of the Lotus of Silence and the mysterious power of the soul-devouring talisman are in the innermost layer. And only Xiao Yan knows that the innermost layer of this Lotus of Annihilation has absorbed the power of a lot of soul-devouring talismans. Soul-devouring talismans are the 12 evil soldiers of the ghost world, and they have a fatal nemesis for these twin ghost emperors. How can there be the aura of Brother Yankai in this Xiao Yang? The most intuitive feeling is Mu Yingying, but at this moment Mu Yingying fell into contemplation. There are only two results of having an aura. One is it was taken by force, and the other was given by others. Obviously, Mu Yingying did not think that Xiao Yang would have the second possibility. Xiao Yang, if you do anything too much to Brother Yankai, I will try my best to kill you. A Wei Wei oath also sounded in Mu Yingying's heart. Damn human! Yin Xie also scolded, and then had to stop absorbing Xiao Yang's original power of purification and the power of ghost energy in the blood-colored vortex to replenish himself, and the two powers in his body were also budding, waiting to be released soon. Yin Xie's idea was to use Xiao Yang's huge purification power just now, and then return to his peak state. It is not difficult to say, as long as the power of the two can be transformed to a certain extent. But what Yin Xie didn't realize was that this terrifying attack of purification power was not Xiao Yang's trump card. When the Lotus of Annihilation slammed heavily on the ***** vortex, Yin Xie felt a wave of destruction. However, when Xiao Yang attacked the Lotus of Annihilation on top of the blood-colored vortex, his aura also weakened, and he regained his initial strength of the 4-star Do Emperor. Although Xiao Yang was quite pleased with the sudden surge in the strength of the 7-star Do Emperor just now, Xiao Yang also knew that he still had to walk his own way, and Xiao Yang still understood the reason that he couldn't make a big fat man with one mouthful. With the release of Xiao Yang's trump card, Xiao Yang also fled from the edge of the blood-colored vortex in an instant, because Xiao Yang knew that the improved Lotus of Annihilation and the soul-devouring charm of the evil soldiers of the ghost realm was injected, and its power was undoubtedly stronger than before. Is more than a little bit powerful. Boom boom boom. Just as the terrifying flames of annihilation touched the edge of the blood-colored vortex, a destructive force erupted from the sky. First, the outermost layer of the Lotus of Silence, 23 colors of flame power forcibly destroyed the edge of the blood-colored vortex, revealing a gap leading to the blood-colored vortex. Afterwards, the Lotus of Annihilation also entered viciously through the gap, and then in the dark space within the blood-colored vortex, a white-clothed woman with evil spirits and two forces appeared. The blood vortex was actually broken. Chang Yu was also excited. As long as the outermost defense was broken, then they also had hope. What kind of power is this? Yin Xie also said in a deep voice. Obviously he did not expect that Xiao Yang's attack could actually destroy the ghost skills he displayed, which made Yin Xie a little unbelievable. Forget it, although I don't know what method you used, it's all over. Yin Xie also looked at Xiao Yang and said slowly, then his aura suddenly soared, and the ghost energy in his body also recovered 90%. Immediately, a terrifying ghost chi burst out, and the two forces also emerged instantly, and then transformed into a suit of black armor on the body of the twin ghost emperor Yin Xie. At the same time, the Yibing Judao slowly appeared in Yin Xie's hands. Ghost Emperor armor, ghost sword. The face of the Nine Souls monument also became extremely ugly. Damn it, I thought that the Ghost Emperor's armor and the Ghost Sword were also lost after sealing the evil spirits, but I didn't expect them to be hidden by the evil spirits. The Nine Souls Steely also said solemnly. No one knows the power of this Ghost Emperor armor and Ghost Sword better than himself. Back then, thousands of years ago, the twin Ghost Emperors relied on the strength of their powerful 7th-grade Ghost Emperors, and with the help of the Ghost Emperor armor and the Ghost Sword, they caused a ***** storm in Xian Santian. And now, with the strength of the twin Ghost Emperors, after adding the Ghost Emperor armor and the Ghost Sword, I am afraid that even the 9-star Fighting Emperor has a burst of power, not to mention the strength of Xiao Yang, the 7-star Fighting Emperor. Boy, I have to admit that your mere 4-star Do Emperor's strength is capable of emitting a power that terrifies me, but in this world where strength is paramount, when you meet me, you are still a little tender. Go to ***** with remorse. The azure blue flame just touched the pitch black arm, and immediately gave off a terrifying confrontation. It's time. Purify the ancient sword. Elsewhere in the sky, the pupils of a man in fire armor suddenly opened, and the strength of a peak 7-star Do Emperor mixed with an extremely strong purifying power filled the sky. This power is really terrifying. It's a pity that it's not worth mentioning in front of me. Yin Xie also noticed that Xiao Yang's pupils suddenly opened, and the strength of the peak of the 7-star Do D was fully displayed. But Yin Xie did not panic. After all, as the existence of one of the best twin ghost emperors in the ghost world, Yin Xie also has the confidence to belong to him, and he also knows that Xiao Yang, the sudden strength of the 7-star Do Emperor, is only a passing glimpse. That's it. However, although Yin Xie is not afraid, his current strength has not returned to the peak, so he did not despise him at all. He was inside the blood-colored vortex, and then his body suddenly swelled. Then, above the edge of the blood-colored vortex, a terrifying ghost energy suddenly appeared, staring at Xiao Yang aggressively. This power is a great tonic, but the power of purification is too troublesome, but it is extremely delicious for me now. Yin Xie also murmured with a smile. Purge? Xiao Yang shouted loudly, and then tightly clasped the ancient milky white sword in his hands. The next moment, his pupils shrank tightly, and the ancient milky white sword in his hand suddenly slashed towards the blood-colored vortex. The terrifying milky white ancient sword exudes a milky white flame sword glow of hundreds of meters, whizzing away at the blood-colored vortex. Tiny. Yin Xie also said disdainfully. Hundreds of feet of milky white flame sword glow emanated from the purification ancient sword, and then roared towards the blood-colored vortex, but it was strange that the 100 feet of sword glow did not bring any fluctuations in the space, as if the most peaceful sword man's in general. Boom boom boom. In the blood-colored vortex, the handprints in Yin Xie's hands quickly changed, and then the next moment, a ghostly aura appeared on the edge of the blood-colored vortex. It is also with the momentum that is like a broken bamboo and goes away against the milky white sword glow. One white, one black and two forces approached rapidly, and the next moment was a violent collision. Bang bang bang. The terrifying explosion also spread out in circles and circles. The milky white sword glow and the evil rays of light composed of ghosts are viciously intertwined. The moment the two forces of completely different nature touch each other, a monstrous explosion erupts. The two just contacted, and they were deadlocked for a while. I don't know why. The pitch-black ghostly energy was defeated by the milky white flames. Moreover, Xiao Yang's attack not only contained extremely terrifying high temperature, but also it contains a terrifying power of purification. This evil is really bold. Xiao Yang also laughed at this time, because Xiao Yang vaguely discovered that a large part of the attacks that had been launched were swallowed by the blood-colored vortex. However, Xiao Yang's expression did not change in the slightest. After all, this ancient purifying sword is not a real killer. This purifying power is only to attract the attention of evil spirits. The power of purification is the restraint of the evil and gloomy atmosphere of ghosts in the ghost world, so there is also this scene. The next moment, the stalemate between the two forces also came to an end, as if the milky white flame sword light had won an overwhelming victory. With the retreat of the ghost chi, the size of the blood-colored vortex also shrank from a few dozen meters to a range of several meters. Seeing this, Mu Yingying on the side also looked at Xiao Yang with some relief, and found that Xiao Yang's blue veins burst out at this time, and then he controlled the milky white ancient sword in his hand, and a steady stream of sword light also evaporated, and then without exception, are heavily attacked into the ***** vortex. Moreover, with the attack of Xiao Yang's milky white flame sword glow, the extremely eerie ghost energy in the blood-colored vortex was also slowly purified, and the volume was extremely reduced. Lord! An arm of several dozen meters surrounded by Mu Yingying's azure flame also made some extremely resentful voices. Bang bang bang. As Xiao Yang's attack continued to increase, his arm full of evil aura also shook suddenly, and then deeply shook Mu Yingying's azure flame surrounded, and then the next moment, he was shocked. Speeding towards Xiao Yang's location. That intention seemed to be to kill Xiao Yang. The moment Mu Yingying was shaken away by the evil arm, her face paled slightly. Obviously, the strength of that mere arm was also very evil and powerful. The next moment the evil arm came to Xiao Yan's side, and then the 5 fingers came together, and an extremely terrifying evil force appeared in an instant. Against the Lord. Death. A few words slowly blurted out from the arm, and as the voice in the arm just fell, an extremely evil force also erupted instantly. The sky-high light also attacked Xiao Yang at a rapid rate. Just as the evil aura was about to attack Xiao Yang, the heavenly fire sacred tiger moved. The terrifying and deep eyes stared at the pitch-black light that attacked Xiao Yang, and the next moment, the pupils shrank tightly, and the space in front of Xiao Yang was frozen. Even the dark light seemed to be frozen, exuding terrifying power, and stayed in the sky like an ice sculpture. Seeing this, the arm full of strange aura was also clever and didn't stop for too long. The next moment, it flew into the blood-colored vortex. "You did a good job," Yin Xie said when he saw the arm, but no one noticed that in the dark space in the blood-colored vortex, there was a group of people who attacked the blood-colored vortex before Xiao Yang. Milky white power is continuously gathering yin evil in the body. Under the continuous attack of Xiao Yang's milky white flame sword light tilde, the edge of the blood-colored vortex continued to emit shocking explosions, and the dark ghost energy on the edge of the blood-colored vortex also dissipated at an extremely fast speed. "It's time." Xiao Yang also saw that the ghost energy on the edge of the blood-colored vortex had almost completely dissipated, and also grinned, and then put away the milky white ancient sword in his hand in an instant. Appears instantly. Susu. The terrifying laughter also emanated from Yin Xie tilde ghost slash. Yin Xie's white-clothed body looks dark and solid against the backdrop of the Ghost Emperor's armor, and the big knife in the jade hand is tightly gripped, and then a terrifying aura emerges instantly. Just as the Lotus of Annihilation entered the blood-colored vortex, the evil voice sounded slightly, followed by an extremely terrifying black sword light of hundreds of meters, and a majestic voice also appeared in the sky. In the ***** vortex. Xiao Yang was far away, but at this time the Lotus of Silentness was still under Xiao Yang's control, and it also stood slightly in the gap on the edge of the blood-colored vortex. A jet-black sword light instantly emerged from the blood-colored vortex, and then headed towards a small gap in the blood-colored vortex. Where is the small gap in the blood-colored vortex? There seems to be an extremely hot energy coming fast. With that appearance, it looks like a rather delicate lotus seed is slowly waiting to be released. Go! Seeing that the terrifying attack was approaching, Xiao Yang also understood that this was his last blow, and immediately gave all the remaining fighting energy in his body to the Lotus of Annihilation. A pitch-black sword light of 100 feet came from the depths of the blood-colored vortex, and a delicate lotus seed was rapidly approaching at the gap on the edge of the blood-colored vortex. Once the two approached, there would be a monstrous explosion. Success or failure is here. Boom boom boom. Terrifying fluctuations emanated from the blood-colored vortex in an instant, and at the same time, the originally indestructible blood-colored vortex also showed signs of disintegration, accompanied by waves of heat waves. The next moment, the attack of the ghost sword in Yin Xie's hand and Xiao Yang's Lotus of Annihilation collided viciously together. Shabu shabu. The two terrifying forces also collided violently in an instant. Abijong Daomang and Xiao Yang's Lotus of Annihilation, which contained a monstrous ghost and evil aura, exuded a shocking explosion in the blood-colored vortex. Just at the distance of several meters between the two, the terrifying explosion spread instantly. At this time, the dark space in the blood-colored vortex also became brighter under the illumination of the fiery flame energy of the Lotus of Silence. At the same time, a woman is also standing slowly in the blood-colored vortex, but on top of her white clothes, some heavy armors are covered. On the armor, each and every one of the extremely hideous evil cheeks is accompanied by a circle of terrifying strength also appeared, but the smile on the woman's cheeks at this time was also quite strange. On the other side, Xiao Yang also stood facing the blood-colored vortex, but the vindictive energy in his body was also squandered and nearly depleted, but fortunately, Xiao Yang, a high-level pharmacist, had recovered not many medicinal pills while staring at the blood-colored vortex at this time. In the confrontation, while swallowing the medicine pill. By this time, Xiao Yang didn't feel sorry for these high-level medicinal pills anymore. he devoured them, and as the high-grade medicinal pills entered his body, Xiao Yan could also feel a wave of extremely gentle power flowing slowly. Among his limbs and bones, his vindictive energy was slowly recovering. The next moment, the flame armor on Xiao Yan's body was also shattered, and then the rather handsome Xiao Yi also appeared in front of Xiao Yan, but at this time Xiao Yi was covered in milky white flames. Weak, very weak. The effect of this first possession is really bad. Xiao Yi also said indignantly, obviously this time the possession did not exert much power and it was over. It's fine. Xiao Yang also smiled, comforting Xiao Yi. Since Xiao Yi appeared in Du, Xiao Yang's strength has also dropped from the peak of the 7-star Do Emperor to his original strength. In the early stage of the 4-star Do Emperor, there was no physical discomfort. After all, the strength that had skyrocketed before was a total of 3 7-star Do Emperor. The pure power of the strong, so it did not have much impact on Xiao Yang. This ghost slash is the famous skill of the twin ghost emperors. It is said that thousands of years ago, there were countless 7-star fighting emperors who died under the trick of the twin ghost emperors. The 9-soul Steely also said in a low voice. You said that Xiao Yang's attack or the evil's attack is stronger. Chang Yu also muttered. Although I don't know why, Chang Yu can always feel that the 3 layers of energy in Xiao Yang's exquisite lotus of annihilation, although the outermost flame power is powerful, but it is still enough to generate the power to make the evil spirits fear. The invisible energy in the inner layer contains terrifying soul power. As for the power in the exquisite lotus seeds in the innermost layer, it makes Chang Yu feel a sense of fear. It's hard to say, after all, this kid Xiao Yang should have some secrets, and the power above the lotus seed, even I would not dare to confront it. However, the current strength of the twin ghost emperors is still far from the peak. Let's look at the situation. If something goes wrong, the two of us will take action immediately, and we must let these good faces escape. The 9-soul monument also said solemnly, and then stared at the fierce collision in the blood-colored vortex. Strange, how can there be an invisible force around Xiao Yang? Mu Yingying didn't care about the words of the 9 souls monument, she just stared at the space around Xiao Yang in a daze. The space around Xiao Yang's body was squirming slightly. Boom boom boom. The collision in the blood-colored vortex became more and more intense, and the evil sword light with a size of hundreds of meters and the lotus of annihilation attacked together viciously. It's just strange that the power of the two did not explode immediately, because there were 2 terrifying powers around the lotus of annihilation, so the sword light was also blocked forcibly. At the beginning of the contact, the knife light and the flame energy collided violently, and after a few moments, the black flame energy in the outermost layer of the lotus of silence was smashed away by the knife light, and then with the shattering of the outermost flame energy, the lotus of silence also revealed the power of the second layer, the combination of soul power and spiritual power. Damn boy! Yin Xie also snorted coldly, and then with Yin Xie's cold snort, the terrifying sword light also broke through the second layer of the lotus of destruction. Baizhang's black sword light was extremely sharp, and it broke the second layer of the lotus of quietness abruptly, and with the terrifying sword light, it broke the second layer of the lotus of nemesis defense one after another. The lotus of silence also revealed the innermost appearance. It seems that heaven doesn't wish you any favors. Yin Xie also snorted coldly, and then burst into laughter all over his body. Only at this moment, the battle has also gained attention. The terrifying sword light broke through the second layer of defense, and the breath did not weaken in the slightest, nor did it stay in the slightest under the control of the evil. It attacked the lotus seed. The terrifying knife light touched the lotus seeds of the lotus of silence, and the flame energy continued to overflow everywhere, resisting the erosion of the knife light, and then the extremely evil grimace in the knife light also emerged, right? Launched a frantic attack with the flames around the lotus of silence. Bang bang bang. Under the maddening attack of the sword light tilde, the lotus of nirvana was also in a state of powerlessness, and then the next moment, it was instantly chopped in half by the terrifying sword light. I lost. Countless contestants on the ground frowned upon seeing this scene, and the horror of death filled their hearts. Susu, let's die. Yin Xie also laughed. If the last spiritual pillar of mankind was destroyed by himself, so would their fate. That's not necessarily true. Xiao Yan also snorted coldly, and then his pupils shrank tightly, and a terrifying wave instantly filled out. The place where the terrifying fluctuations permeated was not Xiao Yang, but the Lotus of Silence that was cut in half in the blood-colored vortex. Lotus of Silence. Put evil. The majestic voice also reverberated in the entire sky, and as the terrifying sword glow cut the Lotus of Annihilation in half, the sword glow launched by the ghost sword also dissipated. But at this time, with Xiao Yang's voice falling, the speed of the Lotus of Annihilation, which was cut in half, suddenly increased sharply, and it roared away at the evil that was close at hand. Damn it! Yin Xie also shouted angrily. He didn't expect this Xiao Yang to come out like this. At this moment, a terrifying black aura emerged from the body of the half-lotus. And when Yin Xie, who was smiling just now, was watching the black aura on the Lotus of Silence, Dai's eyes shrank tightly, and her body trembled, as if she was very afraid. Damn it! What is the aura of that black chi that actually makes me terrified? Yin Xie also quickly calculated in his heart, and before he had time to think about it, the Ghost Emperor armor covering his body exuded a very strong thick ghost energy, trying to surround himself in groups to resist the power of the Lotus of Silence. Without the obstruction of the sword light, the next moment, the Lotus of Annihilation also slammed into the black chi of the Yin Xie body of the twin Ghost Emperors. The black energy was condensed by the Ghost Emperor armor, and its defensive power was astonishing. Xiao Yang in the sky also shook his head and smiled slightly. Boom boom boom. Even if it is cut in half, the power of the Lotus of Silentness will not weaken in the slightest. Because Xiao Yang was controlling the Lotus of Silence just now, deliberately weakening the outermost defensive power of the Lotus of Silence in order to let the twin Ghost Emperors relax their vigilance, thus making a fatal blow. But fortunately, Xiao Yang still succeeded. This evil never noticed Xiao Yang's small actions from beginning to end. At this time, Yin Xiezheng was stubbornly resisting the Lotus of Quietness. Boom boom boom. The Lotus of Annihilation slammed into the evil's black air defense, and even without the slightest suppression, it exploded with a bang. Hundreds of feet of mushroom cloud. And with the appearance of the mushroom cloud, the originally indestructible blood-colored vortex was instantly shattered by the terrifying high temperature and destructive power. The terrifying attacks continued to attack the evil spirits, but the evil spirits were extremely powerful, and even the Lotus of Destruction did not cause much damage to it. It's just that with the complete explosion of the Lotus of Annihilation, the black energy attached to the Lotus of Annihilation is also facing the gathering of yin and evil. Bang bang bang. The terrifying black chi instantly filled the black chi defense of the twin Ghost Emperors. The twin Ghost Emperors showed his powerful side at this time. Even under the attack of the Lotus of Annihilation, he was able to cope with ease, because he did not dare to underestimate this power. But although this power is powerful, it would be foolish to want to kill him. It's just that when the black chi on the Lotus of Annihilation appeared on top of his defensive ghost chi, Yin Xie felt a heartbeat. What kind of power is this? Because Yin Xie suddenly discovered that the ghostly chi that was originally defending the Lotus of Quietness and produced a terrifying explosion of flames was rapidly weakening when the black chi was attached to it. Yin and evil are clear. Once the defensive ghost energy is eroded, then facing a terrifying explosion, the end is either serious injury or death. At the same time, Yin Xie's face became solemn. Damn it! What the asterisk is this? Yin Xie didn't have time to be surprised. The ghostly energy covering his body was completely swallowed up by the black energy. Moreover, after the black chi devoured his defensive ghost chi, he had no intention of retreating at all. The next moment, it was also tightly attached to his Ghost Emperor armor. The black energy was attached to the Ghost Emperor's armor, and Yin Xie felt that the Ghost Emperor's armor, which was enough to resist the full blow of an 8-star Do Emperor powerhouse, seemed to have lost its strength at this time, and it was the same as an ordinary piece of armor. Clothes make no difference. Boom boom boom. Just when Yin Xie was extremely surprised, a terrifying explosion also filled the air, and then with the help of black chi, Yin Xie's defense ghost chi and Ghost Emperor armor were useless. Boom boom boom. This Lotus of Annihilation was just condensed by Xiao Yang's strength at the peak of the 7-star Do Emperor, So even if it is the evil spirit of the 8th rank Ghost Emperor, without the slightest defense, if it is directly hit by such a terrifying attack, then the end is. Yin Xie really deserves to be a Ghost Emperor. When he knew that the Black Chi should not be underestimated and that he could not resist it, his figure moved, and he wanted to escape, but the Black Chi had already taken him away. Staying still, the evil spirits at this time, his pupils are also full of fear, and it was not until this moment that he knew that this black gas is of course the soul-devouring talisman among the 12 evil soldiers of the ghost world. How could a human being possess the soul-eater talisman? Yin Xie also screamed hideously, but this cry was not heard by anyone except Xiao Yan. Boom boom boom. The terrifying attack was like hitting a dead target, forcibly attacking the twin Ghost Emperor's body. Successful? The people on the ground were also shocked by this sudden scene, and they never imagined that Xiao Yang could suddenly turn the tide of the battle. Xiao Yang, you really succeeded. Yueru also said slowly, letting go of her hanging heart. I knew this kid could do it. Mu Feng also said with a smile. I really succeeded by this kid. The Nine Souls Monument also has a sluggish way. Obviously, no one could have imagined that a mere 4-star Do Emperor would actually be able to inflict heavy damage on the 8th rank twin Ghost Emperors. This kid is not only good in strength, but also has a good temperament and sense of the overall situation. He's the one who made the big deal. Chang Yu also laughed. With the strength of these two, even if the vindictive energy in the body is sluggish, it is not difficult to find out that the evil had suffered such a terrifying attack from Xiao Yan. I originally wanted me to take action, but I didn't expect this kid to be so terrifying. Can't stay. Kill. The terrifying killing intent also appeared instantly. Then the next moment, the space around Xiao Yang twisted strangely, and then a black figure with a very evil aura also launched an attack on Xiao Yang at a very fast speed. An arm in the figure stretched out and then swung down at Xiao Yang. The terrifying palm print attacked the weakened Xiao Yang. Xiao Yang had just recovered, but he found it. A terrifying attack came towards him, and he just wanted to defend himself, but his soul power and spiritual power were exhausted, and a sense of powerlessness spread throughout his body. Xiao Yang, be careful. A coquettish anger sounded, and then an azure flame also instantly covered Xiao Yang's body, and then the terrifying palm print did not attack Xiao Yang. I was shocked by this azure blue flame. The flames were stopped. The power of the terrifying palm print and the azure flame also cancelled each other out, but the azure flame actually had a trace of it strung into the black figure, and suddenly the black figure had to give up killing Xiao Yang and deal with the inside of the body of that azure flame. Why does this azure flame have a familiar feeling? The Golden Dragon King, who was hidden in Xiao Yang's ring, also whispered. Obviously, he had already discovered the attack of the black figure just now. If it wasn't for Mu Yingying's shot, then he will definitely stop it. Xiao Yang, are you alright? Be careful, this person is very strong. Mu Yingying also leaned over with the heavenly fire sacred tiger, and then Mu Yingying bit her lips and said to Xiao Yang. Thank you very much for what happened just now. Xiao Yang also said softly, and then some medicinal pills also appeared in his hands and walked away towards Mu Yingying. Seeing this, Mu Yingying wanted to refuse just now, but she accepted the black figure in front of her, and then her lips parted slightly and swallowed it away. It actually failed. Let it go. Stop them, I'll protect the Ghost Emperor's soul, said the black figure, and then behind him, a figure in black clothes also appeared. Damn it! A 7-star Do Emperor powerhouse and a 6-star Do Emperor powerhouse. Chang Yu's expression also became solemn. Damn it! This video will end here.